With so much software available in the short-term rental industry these days, it's increasingly difficult to keep up to date with what's on the market and to determine whether it's a maybe or a must-have for you and your business. So meet one provider each week in a short interview, learning what they do and what they offer. So if you have around 15 minutes to spare, it could prove to be a very good investment to stick around. So let's see who and what is out there, one by one, with me, Deborah Larby, also known as the Guest Inspector. Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Techsplained with the Guest Inspector. In this day and age, everything has to happen instantly. No more waiting around for an answer to, is there a supermarket close by? And if you run a property management business with a number of properties, then answering the questions instantly is a very important aspect of the guest experience. And what if they have a question when they're not on your website? How do you provide that service? With tech booming along as it is, we now have virtual help that doesn't sleep. And given this is a global industry, that's a great service to have. Today, I'm chatting with James, who will explain how his virtual assistants need no sleep. Hello, James. How are you?
Hello, Deborah. I'm good. How are you?
That's good. I'm very well, thank you. I might add that James is from Conciergebot. So we're going to learn about Conciergebot. So basically, we're going to launch straight into it. What does Conciergebot do?
So Conciergebot does artificial intelligence virtual concierge chatbots for the travel and hospitality industry over SMS and WhatsApp. So we work with our property managers and their channel manager and PMS software to personalize our communication with guests and to offer instant replies to commonly asked questions. So Conciergebot is very much based on my experiences as the owner of a vacation rental property in Palm Springs, California.
My first question is, what is a bot?
So a bot is like an artificial person. So a bot takes a question that someone asks or respond or reaches out to someone over text. Sometimes you can do them over phone call or voice, and it's speaking to a person as if it's a person. So it's using spoken language and can then listen and interpret a response written in plain English or any language and then respond as such.
Right. So it's basically like an online robot.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Now, you also touched on artificial intelligence. Now, we recently learned about machine learning. Can you tell us what's the difference between machine learning and artificial intelligence?
So artificial intelligence is sort of like having, so the way we think of concierge bots is that we are your artificial intelligence assistant. We're your extra employee. So when you bring on Conciergebot, you're really bringing on an AI, an artificially intelligent person. So we take those what are questions, statements, and we then use AI to determine what's the intention of that person, of what they say. So like, do they want the answer to a question? Do they want us to retrieve some information for them, or push some kind of change, like whether it's making a booking or asking about checkout, or they want to notify someone. So we're really taking that, we're really interpreting those actions from a guest and using what's called natural language processing to then act upon those the way a person would. So we're really so artificial intelligence is really bringing that sort of automated programmatic way of fulfilling a guest's needs, but without a human needing to intervene.
So it's basically listening to the question and then listening to the question and deciding where it's going to go to get the answer.
Yes, making those decisions and that logic the same way that a person would.
Right. Okay. So I'm a property manager. I'm coming to Conciergebot. What do I have to do? What do I have to input? And what do I get from Conciergebot? What are all the features?
Sure. So we offer several features. We offer custom outbound push notifications are one. Automated replies to guest questions. we work with our customers to integrate with their PMS systems, channel managers, to get those reservation bookings, that information, as well as listing data. So we want our bots to understand everything about all of the properties that you manage, as well as their schedules. And once we have that, then we can start to engage with your guests. So we have timed notifications welcoming the guests to their stay, giving them information in advance of their arrival. We have messages that go out on the day of check-in, and then we have different check-in status messages just to see how their trip is going, a reminder of checkouts. But we can also customize and personalize those messages based on our customers' needs. So and based on the nature of their guests. So some places manage to weekend guests, others have longer guests who stay for longer periods of time. Sometimes it's very seasonal based on the times of year. I know it's that way in Palm Springs. And so we really want our bots to speak in the brand of our customer, because hospitality, as you know, is so personal. And especially when you're hosting someone in your home, there's a sort of level of attention to and very much in intention with how you speak, how you engage with them. And so we want to really capture that in our bots down to the name. So we give our customers the chance to really name their bot. We say, if your brand, if your apartment, if your properties could speak, or if they had a name, there was a person, who would that person be? And so that's really how we start off that conversation. With that engagement with our guests. But a lot of it is really just integrating with whatever tools they use to manage their properties, and then going from there.
Okay, I'm not getting the visualization of this bot. So you started off with automated emails, correct?
Oh, so text messages. Sorry, my apologies. So these are automated text messages. Yes.
So these are text
and messages on WhatsApp messages. Yes.
Right. So these are automated messages that go out via text and WhatsApp. So this is prior to arrival and during the stay.
Yes.
Right. So then if the guest has a question and they answer on the text or the WhatsApp, that's when the bot takes over and it answers it. That point.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. And what about if they're actually on your website and they have a question about a property? Is there a little live icon that they can also ask a question?
We do offer that, and we are working on fleshing that out. So, like, for example, like in my case as a property manager in Palm Springs, sometimes I get questions on Airbnb or Vrbo about, is smoking allowed, or can I bring my dog, or things about the property, and I answer those, and sometimes they book, sometimes they don't. But we want that website, that assistant bot to answer those kinds of questions that even sometimes they're on the listing, but people don't read the entire listing. They just go straight to asking the question. So we are offering that. We would really love for so if anyone out there is interested in putting this on their property listing web pages, we would love to try that out. But we do want to work. We are working on building that and offering that support, because I think that adds a benefit to hosts where you're not answering those kinds of questions that people have sort of pre-booking.
Okay. Is there anything else that I get as a property manager? So I get the automated text or SMS and the automated responses to the SMS and the text, the text and the WhatsApp. Was there anything else?
Yes. So we also escalate issues that the guests are having. So if the guest messages the bot, says I'm locked out, or the washer dryer is not working, we respond to the guests and let them know that we're escalating to a person. So we can send either text message or an email to your support staff so that they're immediately aware that something has gone wrong and that they need support. Right. We can also do automated phone calls, like robocalls, to let them know that something I guess is having an issue that needs attention. We're also working on a dashboard interface where if there is such an issue, you can also respond as the bot. You can in the dashboard just send a message directly to your guests.
And earlier on, when you were saying about the bot has to get to know your property and things like that. So when I first sign up with you, when I first join up, I have to put in all the details about my property, the check-in time, if dogs are allowed, pets, smoking. I have to give you all that detail. And is that what the bot starts off with?
So the bot starts. So the bot starts off with the details from your PMS or channel manager. So if we have that listing data, that's a good start. Sometimes we find that they don't have the breadth of data that we're looking for. So we might ask you to supplement that with information. If you have videos, that's another feature. So if you have, like, a lot of property managers have videos that they post on YouTube about like getting into the unit, if it's a self check-in, or how to operate the washer dryer. And so we can index those as well and serve those. If someone has a question about the washer dryer, we can actually send a link to the YouTube video or to a PDF. So we really want all of that rich content that comes along with your property, so that you're not sending links or telling a guest to go look at that confirmation email for all of those links to the videos. It's just right there for them when they need it.
And given the name concierge, does that mean if they say, "Oh, can you tell us a good Italian restaurant close by," it'll help with that too?
Yes, absolutely. So we find that many times. So that was my experience as a host of my vacation rental properties, that guests wanted to know from the host where are the good restaurants, the things to do, rather than going on Google or Yelp, as we have in the US, to look for those things. They really want that. And that's really a part of the whole branded experience, that those are part of those personalized experiences. So we work with property managers. We ask them, what places where do you tell guests to go? And do you have particular preferences for different places? And if they don't have them, we can fill those, and we can work with them on having all of those. But that's a really key, that's a great point. That's another thing that we offer.
I was recently discussing welcome books with someone. Is Conciergebot sort of an equivalent of a welcome book? So if a guest needs to know how the oven works, or if the guest needs the Wi-Fi password, you just ask the concierge.
Yes. So you send a text message to the bot the way you would, or a message on WhatsApp, the way you would speak to a human host. If you had a question, you would just send it, and you would use the same language. What's the Wi-Fi, or how do you use the oven? And so, yes, so I have a printed welcome book in my home in Palm Springs, and a lot of guests, they either don't see it or they don't read it. So, or sometimes they have a question and they're not in the unit. They're out and about, and they want to ask a question about checkout or about where to go, and it's just right there on their phone. We always have our phones with us. So it's the convenience of just being able to have that right in your hand. And we often have this information in mobile apps or in emails, but what's great about messaging is that we're on these messaging apps several times a day. So it's that minimized friction versus having to dig up an email, pinch and zoom a PDF. So we really just want to make all of that information about a guest stay as accessible as possible.
Here's a curveball. So on WhatsApp, I use WhatsApp a lot, but I find, I can't be bothered typing. So I'm actually using a lot of voice messages on WhatsApp. Does the Conciergebot recognize the voice messages on WhatsApp?
Not at this time. I don't believe that's supported by WhatsApp bots. So we use different software to integrate with WhatsApp so that our chat bots can be WhatsApp enabled. And some of the things that would be available to just two-way communication with another person are not available on the bots, but that would be a great enhancement. And actually, I'm going to make note of that, because I think that would be a great thing. Now, let me ask you a question. So would you want a response in text, or would you want a response in voice? Would you want another voice recording?
You know what? For me, it wouldn't matter. For me, it's about saving me time with my fat thumbs having to type something 5 times to get it right. To get the response, I don't mind a voice or typed. In fact, probably typed is better, because then if I'm in a noisy environment, I don't have to stick the phone up to my ear. I can just read it, and then I can come back to it and access it very quickly. So I think written would be a good way to get the response. But for me to save time, just hey, where's the nearest supermarket? I'm on this street and this street. Where's the nearest supermarket or something? Whatever the question.
Right. I love that.
Yeah. Okay. Now, was there something else? A chatbot? No. Okay. Let's move along. What is your unique selling point? Do you have one?
Yes. So our unique selling point is that we really work closely with our guests. We want to put in the time to really brand the bot, to make it sound like, to make the bot speak in the manner that you would address your guests, or your staff would address your guests. So maybe it's the bot says, "Dear Deborah," maybe it says, "Dear Ms. Labi," like all of these things that we're very conscious of when we host guests. Those are things that we want to have in our bot. And so, as well as local recommendations, things to do if there are things that, like, let's say that you offer a cleaning, if mid-stay cleaning for someone who's staying for a longer period of time, we can add an additional notification to sort of upsell those things that you offer. For example, some of our customers, they may offer like a little arrival package, like if you're celebrating an anniversary or a new baby or something, and you want something in the unit, they upsell these things. So we want our bots to remind guests of those things, because human staff sometimes don't always remember to do those things, or guests sometimes aren't always aware, they haven't read through everything that's offered. So I think that's really our unique selling point, is that we do have some standard boilerplate responses, like if you ask about the Wi-Fi, there's really only a few ways you can kind of say that. And we really do want to work with our hosts and make our platform extensible, so that we really are speaking in that manner, because I think that's really what, versus some other services where you just get sort of like the same kind of response, no matter who you are, whether you're a boutique management company managing 3 properties or hundreds. I think that there's a real difference, and we really want to bring that nuance to our product.
One of the things that I actually did see on your website was that the bot can speak different languages.
Yes. So we support Spanish and Portuguese at this time, and we're working on other languages. But that's another thing that we're really excited about. So and again, that's also the AI. So we use the natural language processing, the artificial intelligence allows us to in different languages sort of detect what is the intention of what the person is saying, and then commit an action. And so we can take something in one language, and actually, so it doesn't even have to match the same. Like, we can hear something in one language and respond in a different one, sort of like a true multilingual person. So definitely, and so yes, we're very excited about that as well.
Now, what are the benefits of using your product? How do I benefit?
So
as a property manager,
the way property managers benefit is it's less time spent answering repetitive questions. So I found that as a host, I was often answering the same questions with every guest who arrived. What's the Wi-Fi? Where should I go have breakfast? When is checkout? Where do I leave the keys? And these are things that are very easily answered, because they sort of converge to similar answers. So those are perfect things for automation. So as people expand, and as more people get into the sort of game of property management, short-term property management, it's hard to scale when you have, like, say, someone who's managing like 5 properties, and you want to add 3 or 4 more. This is a way to keep that level of support, and also just and then focus on those questions, those things that really need human assistance, like somebody's locked out, or there's a problem with an appliance. And for the guests, it also means that they don't have to wait for the host if they have a question and the host is sleeping or not responding to their text messages. They don't have to wait to get that answer. So it's benefits both the property manager and the guest. But something that is also beneficial that I didn't realize when I first started this is that a lot of times maybe you book on a different channel like Airbnb or Vrbo, and you have a management company, but people in their minds think, oh, I booked that on Airbnb. They don't remember sometimes your management company or your brand. And so the bot is another way to get your brand or your business in front of your guests, so that they remember, oh, I stayed with this boutique management company, versus like, oh, I just stayed at a Vrbo or at an Airbnb.
Yeah, and this company is pretty cool because their staff never sleep.
Right, exactly. Yeah, bots don't don't need sleep. They're consistent, and so
And who is your target audience? What sort of size property management company, or how many properties?
So our sweet spot's sort of been with small to mid-sized management companies, anywhere from 3 units to 50 to 100. But we're definitely, as we grow, definitely looking to get some larger clients. But we find that that's really where where maybe they started off really small and they were able to manage with a small staff, and now that they're expanding, they're feeling that crunch, or staff are getting a little overwhelmed with questions, particularly at peak time. So that's really that's been sort of the bulk of the interest has been coming from that space. So that's sort of our niche market for now.
Yeah. And given that it's online, your audience is a global one, right? Or you just global?
Okay. So we have clients in the US and Europe for now, and we're talking to potential clients in Latin America and Asia. So it's very exciting.
And how much does it cost?
Typically, depending on the integration, it can be anywhere to a couple $100s for the initial setup, and then after that, there's a monthly subscription fee. So there's a one-time setup fee, and then there's monthly subscription. Depending on the number of units, it could be anywhere from $1 per unit per month or less. So we really try to keep the recurring costs low.
Yeah. Okay. Setup fee and monthly subscription. Okay.
Yes. We do offer annual. We can offer an annual subscription at a discount upon request. We did have one. We did do one of those.
If there's any questions for James or Conciergebot, pop them in the comments below. I'll put a link for Conciergebot in the description, as well as for the guest inspector. And thank you so much, James. Thank you for your time and telling us about Conciergebot.
Thank you, Deborah, for having me.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Okay. Bye.